Hello, 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 and welcome to Joanne's Healing Within. I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, the creator of the chakra balance numerology, cosmic energy forecast deck, and a mom and a wife. And it's 2022. So last year I was helping you become seeing yourself as the best version of you. Now at this point in time, hopefully you're vibrating at that best version of you. Happy Sunday, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Do me a favor and share, like, and comment on today's show. Specifically the comments, really important for today because I really would like to know what inspires you to come and watch the show if you watch it week after week. And what's your favorite part about the show? Is it the actual cosmic energy healing that we do in the beginning, or is it the actual conversation that I have with my amazing guest, or is it the very ending when I'm showing out all the promos? So I would really like to know what makes you come watch us every week as we are live. And know that if you've missed any episodes, such as last Sunday's episode, where I had the amazing Gabriella, medical intuitive, and also the founder of the Alive Health Solution on our show last week, you definitely want to go back and watch it. And I do believe there's a flyer there that has all her information because you do want to connect with her as well. We shared some, or should I say, she shared some amazing insight regarding what causes healing and what blocks it. And I was quite intrigued by the information she shared with us. So go ahead and go watch that later on today. After all, I know there's a Super Bowl going on today. I have no idea what time it starts, but maybe between that or after that, you could definitely go and watch that. What I like to do just for a second is I want to just make sure that I am tuning in so all my folks know that I am here watching as well, and I can give a shout out to anyone who is also watching with us. Whoops, come on, there we go. So for anyone who is watching, remember, just put a comment in, let me know that you are here. And let's take care of the housekeeping. Most important part of the show, I think, maybe not. There's a whole list of them. So to start off with, we have Jill Monkman, who's a shamanic healing practitioner and wellness advocate. CJ Ives Lopez, she's a host and publisher of the Author's Porch podcast and magazine. Amy and Kitty, my favorite two from Intuition of the Soul. They are both the host and they do amazing things during the course of the week. So check them out. Kendrick Greer, woohoo, our astrologer. So you definitely want to connect with him. Lisa Nice, she is our physical therapist and also a consultant of Mary Kay. She is looking for 15 faces to do makeovers with. So if you're that one, reach out to her. Diana Brad, who is the CEO and founder of their Transition to Green community. Gabriella, who I just mentioned, which is our guest from last week, medical intuitive and founder of the Alive Health Solution. Last but not least, Nick Rafter, who is our guest for today. He's the real estate agent, writer, editor, and journalist. So he's your go-to man for all of that. But you definitely want to hang in there because we're going to be having an amazing conversation today. After all, our title for today is all about how, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. Now I just have to find the paperwork that I wrote it down on. I do seem to make myself a little crazy. Applying astrology and numerology when buying a home. Did you even know that you could apply astrology and numerology when you're buying a home? Well, let me just give you a little tip, and I'm going to whisper it, so lean in. Astrology and numerology you can use for everything. Yeah, in case you didn't know that. So let's talk a little bit about astrology and numerology. Let's tap into the astrology for today, where our moon is. For the last, give or take, 48 hours, the moon has been in Cancer energy. Cancer is all about the fourth house, home, family, healing, nurturing, taking care of yourself and others for that matter. And as of tomorrow, the moon is going to be moving into this delicious Leo energy. Why do I say delicious? Because Leo is the fifth house. It's about having fun, expressing yourself, creativity, adventure and intimacy as well. And it actually falls right on Valentine's Day. Yay! Although there's many of you out there who are actually celebrating Valentine's Day a little early, and that's probably because Valentine's Day falls on a Monday. Now, I like my show to be educational as well as healing. So I want to just give you a little insight in regards to what Valentine's Day means spiritually speaking. And this may get a little biblical, but that's part of the education here. The meaning of Valentine's Day is reminding us of the gift of God and tapping into our hearts just as God does. So in a nutshell, what that really says is love the way God loves. And Valentine's Day for many is known to be the holiday for couples to express their love to one another. But first of all, it's not only for couples. You can express your love to your fur babies. You can express your love to your children, your friend, your coworkers, whomever it is you want to show love to. And secondly, Valentine's Day should be a day that we celebrate every day. We should be expressing our love to ourselves and to others. So if you are feeling sort of down because you're thinking in your mind Valentine's Day is a day just for couples and you may not be in that couple situation, well, guess what? You are in a couple situation because you are in a relationship with self. And that's the most important relationship there is, to love on you. So as we do move into, I think they call this Valentine's Eve, everything's the eve before. So this is a great time to love on yourself and get yourself that very thing that you would want a partner to get you if you are not in a relationship. Even if you're in a relationship, I mean, which may sound a little funny, I actually buy myself a little something every year for Valentine's. I buy myself a little something for my birthday. I buy myself a little something for Christmas, because why not? Why not give yourself the gift that you're hoping that somebody else is going to give you? So love the way God loves. And we all know that God loves in an extreme, abundant way. So spread out that love, show the hearts, do the loving thing, whether you have in a relationship or not. So that's that Valentine's energy. And again, because it will fall into Leo energy, Leo is about having fun and being intimate. And we can be intimate on an intimate level, whether we're in a relationship or not. Intimacy just means that we're just loving a little more intensified than not so intimate, if that makes sense. So I wanted to leave that with you based on that spiritual meaning of Valentine's Day. And maybe as of tomorrow and going forward, you can look at Valentine's Day as being very different than you've looked at it, referred to it in the past, and maybe not dread it so much, because I do know there's so many people out there that sort of dread Valentine's Day because they're like, it's another day where you're just going to see all the couples just hugging up on each other and holding hands and going out, and here you are where you're not in a relationship and you're thinking you can't celebrate. Well, I'm giving you permission to go ahead and celebrate on you. And you never know. You might, you take yourself out. You never know who you might meet by doing that. So use this amazing Eve and Valentine's Day to love on yourself, but love the way God loved and love on everybody else as well. With that being said, I want to pull a card because I want to help you set your energy in the vibration of love. Love is the highest level of vibration one can have. So when you are loving on yourself and loving on others, you do raise your vibration. So then that will help you to attract whatever it is you're looking to attract. So, and interesting enough, being that it is Valentine's Eve, I should have worn my heart rose chakra, but I didn't. But it's okay. I'll wear that tomorrow. And I'm sure I'll be doing a live somewhere tomorrow, so you'll get to see it. All right, so let's see. What card do we need to work with today? It was going to fly out. To help us raise our vibration, we'll have a number to provide a hidden message attached to astrology as well, and also a word to raise our vibration as well. So here's our card for today, although it's in reverse. So let's see, we have spiritual guidance. So it's a great day to tap into spiritual guidance. On this 13th day of February, 13, when we think about it, is a 4 energy. So it really is aligned with that 4th house of Cancer. And 4th house, again, let's look at the number 4 in itself before we go there. When we think about the 4 in astrology and then jumping it over to numerology, it's about your foundation. And that's really what it is when we think about our home, not just our shelter, but also our body as well. So connecting with your spirit guides today to get the answers you're looking for. Now let's talk about that number, 3 and 4, which has that 4 in it again. So 3 and 4 is a 7. 7 in numerology means going within, sitting quietly, connecting with God, connecting with your higher power, connecting with your angels, loved ones, fairies, as I like to call it, and just being quiet. In astrology, the number 7 is balance and finding justice in your balance, finding justice in your balance. So being able to have that balance in your life so you can make that connection with spirit, but also be human as well. The chakra we're going to work on is the heart chakra, which is all about, when we think about it, even though I really wish that would have been pink today, but it's green. So it really is about healing the matters of the heart today. So if your heart is feeling a little heavy due to whatever it is that's feeling heavy for, this is a great day to work on healing your heart chakra, clearing out sadness, loneliness, even anger for that matter. If you're angry about anything, this is the perfect day to spend some time on healing and connecting with your spirit guides for some guidance. So I'm loving how that card showed up right here. So with that being said, I think I took care of everything that we needed to take care of regarding this portion. I'm going to take a quick commercial break because I need a little water. And when I get back here, I am going to have my amazing guest with me, and we're going to dive into an amazing conversation. So if you want, get some water, grab a pen and paper. Remember, if you haven't shared, like, or comment yet, do so, and I'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Nick Rafter, journalist, writer, editor. I'm happy to be offering copy editing and line editing services at competitive industry rates. If you have a book or any document that needs to be edited and thoroughly looked through, please contact me at nickrafter@gmail.com. Let's discuss how to get that work done. That's Nick Rafter, NICKRAFTER, @gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon.
Hi guys, I'm Kendrick Cortez Greer, personal astrologer and astrological counselor here in Brooklyn, New York. I've been an astrologer for over 23 years now, providing astrological readings, counseling sessions, workshops, and corporate events all throughout the tri-state area. I've been very blessed and lucky to have clients all throughout the United States and beyond. If you're interested in a reading that is warm, heartfelt, honest, and conducive to speaking to one of your best friends, please contact me at 917-863-7528. You can also email me at kendrickstar@gmail.com. That's Kendrick, STAR, @gmail.com. And for you Insta people, find me on Instagram at Kendrick Cortez Astrology. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Toodles.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and I have my amazing guest here, but I'm not introducing him yet, but I just want to do the follow-up for those of you who are just tuning in. Remember to share, like, and comment because you definitely want to catch the earlier part of the show. And our card for today, which happened to be in reverse. So it really means we do need to work on our heart chakra, and it's a special day to connect with your spirit guides. And why do I say a special day to connect with your spirit guides? Based on the message that I shared with you regarding the meaning of what Valentine's Day means spiritually speaking. And that meaning, briefly, is all about loving like God loves. And love, and we all know how God loves, so love that same way and connect with your spirit guides and work on your heart chakra. The number 7 is all about finding that balance today to be able to sit quietly and make that connection, and also just utilize the energy that you may have today to do all the fun things you're looking to do the eve of Valentine's Day. With that being said, hello, Nick Rafter. So nice to have you here with me today. I'm super excited for our conversation. How about you?
Same, yeah. I was looking forward to it all weekend.
Yes, yes. And I was sharing with our viewers a little while ago as I wrote it down. I have like a stack of paperwork here that hopefully won't fall on the floor, where our title for today is Applying Astrology and Numerology When Buying a Home. Now, I know you and I have spoken about this conversation, behind the scenes. So first, before we go there, just share with our viewers a little bit about your background as a real estate agent, regards, and how you apply, what made you even think to do this? Go for that.
Yeah, well, it's funny. This really started. So I've been a real estate agent in New York City, in Long Island, for the past 5 years now, 6 years now. And I've worked mainly in Brooklyn, but also in Queens and Long Island, sometimes Manhattan, but I try to avoid it. And really never thought about applying astrology and numerology to buying and selling or renting real estate until recently, where I was having a closing. A client of mine was closing on his condo, and it had been a really long, drawn-out closing. And if you know how real estate works, you sign the contract and you have to wait for all the paperwork to be done before you can close. And it was going on for about 4.5 months. It was a new development in Brooklyn, and new developments take time because you have to get a certificate of occupancy for the city and all this other stuff. So it was a really long, drawn-out closing. And he kept telling me through December and January that he wanted to close on January 24th. That was the date that he wanted to close. And I said, well, it's not really up to me. It's up to, the circumstances. He's like, well, that's the date that I want to do it. So when we got around to closing, I requested the date. We got the date. And I thought to myself, well, why is he being so called January 21st? So I asked him, like, is that a date? He's like, no, that's just the date I want to do it. It's the date I see myself closing. And so I thought about it. And I talked to you, Joanne, but I also talked to some of my colleagues. And I was like, what is about the 24th that is attracting to him? And I didn't realize how many of my other colleagues, believe in numerology and the stars and the moons and the planets when listing and selling and buying and advising their clients as well. And so the advice that was brought to me is that there was something about that date, about the numbers of that date, that was, telling him that was the right time to do it. And we spoke about it, and we did a whole big numerology thing. We did my client's chart, and it turned out that was a great date for him to start a new chapter. And the background with him is that he was moving his business operations to New York City from California, and so he was starting literally a whole new chapter in business and everything in New York. And so the numbers worked out to work for him on that date, and that's what we believe was calling him to close on that date. And indeed, that's when we actually did close.
Yes. And if I can just intervene a second, the date that he had chosen to want to close, that date was what again?
January 24th, 124.
And I just want to zoom in on just that date, the day itself, which is the 24th. When we think about that number 24, which adds up to a 6 in numerology, and in that 6 in numerology is about scheduling, organizing, and restructuring where we are. And it's also in that alignment to the universal energy, which is the 6 of the year. So that itself was extremely potent for him, which is probably why he was so like dead on wanting to close on this particular day, not even including like the whole date and taking in consideration his actual astrology information or numerology information at that time. So there's so many different ways to why a specific day may end up being really potent, why somebody might be so insisting on like, no, this is the day that it needs to take place. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, and so it started the conversation with a lot of my colleagues about numerology, and then also later on astrology, and how it applies to real estate, whether we apply it at all. And I was surprised by how many of my colleagues actually do. And we had a whole discussion on my company, my office does a Monday morning meditation and like career boosting, like pep talk type of thing. And it became a topic of conversation one of our Monday meetings. And I was surprised by how many of my colleagues go, oh yeah, I see an address and the numbers add up to, 4. And then I apply it and think, okay, well, the best time for us to put this on the market will have to be, when I'm making it up, but but when the moon is in not when there's a new moon, so we have to wait until the next full moon to put it on the market, like stuff like that. Or when Mercury's not in retrograde, we can't put this house on the market because the address adds up to a two, stuff like that. And I thought, well, I've never thought about it. Like, I've never really considered that. And so, it started the whole conversation on that. And, now I see myself applying it sometimes. I'm also surprised by how many of my clients also take this into consideration, especially astrology, more so than numerology, where they will. I have a client now who was supposed to move February 1st and paid an extra month to stay in her apartment because she did not want to sign a lease while Mercury was still in the shadow of retrograde or something like that.
Exactly.
And so she waited an extra month.
Yeah, and case in point, let me dive into that just for a second for our viewers so they have an understanding. When we think of Mercury in retrograde, theoretically, the myth, and I'm going to use this as a myth because some astrologers will believe this, other astrologers don't, not so much. But the component to when Mercury is in retrograde, it's really not a time to sign contracts or have a major conversation. And the only reason why is Mercury is our planet of communication, scheduling, planning, etc. And when it's in retrograde, it means everything goes a little backwards. And that also means that we may not comprehend the conversation that's on hand as clearly as we would when Mercury is direct. The same way where if we're reading a contract, our brain may not be able to really take in the whole contract. So more likely than not, once Mercury goes direct, the individuals who were a part of that contract would have to come back and revisit some things because of some miscommunication that has taken place. And this is largely known for signing a contract for a home, buying computers or anything of a large price, buying a car, and or again, if you're looking to have a major meeting about something work related or that's really important during this period of time, it is not necessarily the right time. However, contradiction to all that, depending on where Mercury sits on the individual's chart and also what sign Mercury is retrograde in, it may actually be a perfect time for the individual to do all of that, because then there is actually some magic behind Mercury being in retrograde. So a lot of that really, it can tip either way, but the individual would really need to know his or her chart and work with an astrologer that can determine for them if this is a really good time. Now, if your client was specifically saying that she did not want to do this during that period of time, then her intuition was guiding her to say, not a good time for this. Let me hold off until the shadow period and then go for it.
Yeah.
So I think that's perfect.
Yeah. And I find this a lot with certain clients, especially working with people who are Chinese American, who believe a lot of this stuff too, because they'll take not only astrology, but also the feng shui of the apartment.
Yes.
And great faces, and whether the moon can be seen from the bedroom at a certain time. All of these things come into consideration. And it was opened a whole new world. And I actually think it's helped my business because now, I find myself sort of looking at these numbers, looking at these planets and hearing my intuition better as to when is a good time to show this apartment, or show that apartment, put this on the market. Is this the right, community for them? I mean, I know one agent who does this with zip codes as well, where she will take the zip code, bring it down to a number, and then that will tell her when the best time to list the property in that zip code is. And she's had like tremendous success. I mean, she had a house on the market where the zip code told her to put the house on the market in December. And December is the worst month to list a house. It's just a terrible month to do it because it's the holidays and people don't want to buy things in December. People don't even look in December because they're too busy with the holidays. And she says, no, I was convinced December was the right month. And she put the house in the market. It was actually a little bit overpriced. And I thought to myself, this is a disaster waiting to happen. And she had one open house. She had an offer on that day and went right into contract immediately. And everyone in the office was just flabbergasted by how this happened. I mean, the market's hot in New York, so it's not terribly surprising, but it's still the fundamentals of that listing, being that it was slightly over market price, being that it came on the market in December, being that we had a rather bad December weather-wise, it should never have happened. And she said, it was just trusting my intuition and trusting what the guides were telling me. This was the time to do it. She could have done it in November, and it would have sat on the market probably through December.
Exactly.
And so learning all of that, I've taken a lot of notes on this in the last few weeks to figure out where I go next, has been, rather eye-opening. I didn't realize how many agents are doing this.
Yes. Well, as I always say, astrology and numerology does not lie. It really doesn't. And when you know the science behind it, and you're also aligning it with your own intuition, it is magic. And as long as you're being led by it, it doesn't lie, and things will fall into its place, which is what your colleague experienced. And every one of you were just sitting there like, oh my God, this is insane. So what I'd like to do, Nick, is, because we do need to take a commercial break, let our viewers know how they can reach you.
Sure. You can reach me through email at nickrafter@gmail.com. You can find me at nickrafterwrites.com. That's my website. And my real estate page is corcoran.com/nickrafter.
Okay. And I believe there's at least one of those contacts on his flyer. So if you didn't catch all of it, there's one on the flyer. You could definitely reach him. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
If you are turned off by conventional medicine and their mantra, do you want meds for that? There's a better option. I'm Gabriella Mihalician, medical intuitive and healer. Let me help you find the root cause of your illness and guide you through healing. My intuitive method directs your body to heal itself and removes barriers to healing. I invite you to schedule a session today at alivehealthsolutions.com.
Hey guys, welcome. We are back on the Author Sports. I am so excited to be here with my co-host Anastasia. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good. It's so good to see you again. We don't get to see each other very often. We might have to do this every week, right? Tonight we are also talking with Scott.
Hey, this is Joe Monkman, and I am a personal development trainer. And that means that I help people step into their leadership roles, take their place as a visionary, really understand their own mastery in the world so that they can really find their place at the buffet of life. And if you want to know more, you can find me on my Facebook page at Joe Monkman and joemonkman@gmail.com.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. I have my amazing guest, Nick Rafter, here. We were actually chatting about how applying astrology and numerology when buying a home. And just behind the scenes, we were just sharing about the address that Nick was just talking about earlier regarding his client who just recently bought a home, based on using his intuition and being really determined to make sure Nick would be on the same page as him. We were just sharing the numbers behind the scenes here. So Nick just shared with me that the address was 17 Diamond Street. And before we go further with that, I just want to share, just in case you're not aware, every letter in our alphabet is associated with a number in numerology from 1 to 9. So theoretically, if I had time to do this, I would actually break down the entire, all the letters in Diamond Street, and we'd have an actual number to what that would mean as well. But that's going to take a lot of brain work for me to do, and can't do that during this time because brain work and then being how do they say that expression? Stress on whatever the expression, whatever it is, would not happen. But as Nick just shared, Nick, you were just saying the zip code was what?
11222.
So 11222. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So Nick, I'm going to test you here. Okay. Nick and I we spend a lot of time talking about numbers and everything. So I want to see if he's learned anything from me during these times when we chat. What does the number 11 mean? What is it first?
It's a master number.
Okay. What does it mean?
And it doesn't mean like it's the number where the gates open to connect to your spirit better. Or,
nothing like putting him on the spot.
I'm like trying to formulate what it means.
Yes, he's close. You know, yes, he's very close.
It opens up the pathways to speak to your spirit guides.
Yes, the 11 is a master number, and what it actually means is it's healing the relationship from a higher level. But because it is the 11th number, anytime we see that number, it's like Nick just said, it's literally a key to open up the gateways to whatever it is that person wants to heal that relationship with. Now, Nick, rather than including all the twos, what's the next two numbers?
The next numbers after 1122.
After the one that shows up after the 11, the next two, not all three of them.
22.
And what is that?
Is that also a master number?
Yes. And what does it mean?
That I don't know. 22.
Okay. I don't know. Okay. Number 22 in numerology as the master number is the master builder. Master builder, the person who is actually building an enterprise. Someone who's actually building an enterprise, whether it's building a home so more people can live in it, or it could be a building or whatever, or building a new business where more people can get work from. Now, do you know what the 3 twos mean?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, the 3 twos is 222. It's an angel number. And that number means have faith. Have faith. So this zip code, 11222, is a very powerful zip code. And I'm sure you've done the math on this one, Nick. What's it add up to?
8.
Yes. Do you know what number 8 means in astrology? I mean, in numerology.
Yeah, I do.
Rather?
And now I got a blank because we've talked about this before, because the address adds up to 8. It's at 17.
Yes.
I drew a blank, and you're going to tell me I'm going to remember it because we did talk about this.
I'll share it. The number 8 in numerology is abundance. It's about harmony. It's about balance. It's about stability. It's infinity. In astrology, the number 8 is letting go of the old and bringing in the new so that that individual can transform. And the zip code, and as Nick just said, the zip code and the address, the number 17 and the address, both equal to 8s. So double 8s, which is extremely powerful. And anytime we turn the number 8 onto its side, it's actually infinity. So infinity energy when we think about it. So this was a very powerful address for this individual to be so connected to.
And we talked about that because the closing was January 24th. It takes 24 hours for the city to basically stamp their state of approval on a closing. So the date on the deed is January 25th, which also adds up to an 8, which he wouldn't have gotten unless he had the closing on January 24th. So there was a lot of things I remember us talking about how it added up to that number 8 and how it fit into why he was moving, why he was coming here, what was his life goals. And one of the things we do as real estate agents is that, for the ones who actually do their job well, they have to really know everything about their clients. They have to really get into why they're moving, what their hopes and aspirations are, what their past was like. I have clients who always ask for their birthdays and stuff because they want to know about them. And, you become kind of like not only a person to show houses, but also just kind of like some people call it therapist, but I don't think that's really true. But, a personal guide, and so you begin to know like why they're purchasing or why they're selling or why they're renting and what their reasons are behind it. And so it helps to know that anyway, because then you can tie it into the numbers and the planets and figure out what the best deals, how to get the best deals, and a lot of realtors do this, and I'm sort of sorry I didn't connect the two earlier, because I'm in both worlds and didn't see how the two of them connect and work with each other, because I probably made a ton of mistakes by just not reading the signs, in my earlier.
And here's an additional piece to to all the numbers. When you take the current year 2022, which adds out to be a 6, you take the actual month and day of the closing, which was January 24th, which adds up to a 7, and you take both the zip code and the address, not including the actual letters to the address, but just the numbers, you get 876. And that itself lets us know that everything is perfect, in perfect order to this closing. Everything is in perfect order to this closing, which just with what we're seeing here just goes to show intuitively that this was a right time for this to happen for this person.
Yeah.
So
it was telling that he was being told. I mean, through whatever means he's being told, up to a month earlier, that was when it had to be done. Even though didn't seem like it would be done. I actually had, this is the reason why I brought you into this, because I wanted to know why a date was so important, because as I realized how important that date was, I was sure it would happen. There was a lot of stuff that needed to happen before it that didn't happen until the last days. And so there was a point, like on January 21st, where, we were sitting there going, well, is this closing going to happen on Monday? And I was sure that it would. And I kept telling my client, I said, it will. I'm sure it will. I'm absolutely sure it will happen, because of that, because we took the spirit guide into consideration, and why this date was important.
I have to show the card, spirit guidance.
Spiritual guidance and trusting the process, which is, a lesson that I learned, I don't say the hard way, but it was a long road to learn that lesson. And it really, trusting the process is a really important thing to have, a really important value to have in real estate, because you really don't know, like, everything is sort of an unknown. The entire process to closing, anything can sort of set it off the path. And you really have to trust what you're doing. And if you don't trust in it, you really can't do it. I have a client who, until she closes, I probably shouldn't talk about it, but just really quickly, I'll talk in vague terms, who wanted a property, and I wasn't sure it was the right one. And I even took numbers in consideration. The numbers pointed it to not being the right one. And I told her, and you're really not supposed to guide people yes or no, it's let them make a decision. And I said to her, I said, you really, how about you think about this? And she was gonna go for it. And I said, all right, well, if you insist and you're being guided by something different than I am, it's your property, you should do it. And she did. And before the contract was signed, it didn't happen. She backed away, and then now we're all looking for something else. And I sat there and I said, I already had options lined up, because intuitively I knew it was gonna go through. I knew this contract was not gonna go through. And so because I trusted that process, I knew where to bring her next. I was prepared for it to happen. And I prepared her for it, because she said, I should have listened to you, or, you did warn me about this. I'm not surprised. And it was because I warned her about it, that she was able to sort of bounce back and start over her search again. And so that was trusting the process, trusting that if this wasn't the right one, it won't be the right one, even if your client has to figure it out before you do. And it's really sort of a weird way, because a lot of real estate agents will flat out say, don't buy this. And you're really not supposed to do that. You're really
Well, one of the intuitive intuition that I'm receiving right now to share is, when you are in a situation where you're not in that same alignment with your client, which he or she is saying yes, 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 and your intuition is like, yeah, I don't think so. What you definitely can do is take the actual the date of when this individual is looking to close it, and see if any of those numbers actually match either her personal energy, your number, or the actual collective energy year number. If there's a match there, then there's a good probability that it will be a good date because there's a match there. Now, if there's not a match there, then that's where you might want to take a step back and just see where in the chart is there a match or is there not a match? And that's how you can determine whether or not this is a good thing or not. But with that being said, we do need to take another commercial break. Let our viewers know how they can reach you.
You can reach me at Nick Rafter, excuse me, nickrafter@gmail.com, or on my websites, nickrafterwrites.com or corporate.com/nickrafter.
Okay. And there's a flyer for that has one of those contacts on it. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back to share some more.
Hi, my name is Lisa Nice, and I'm an independent beauty consultant for Mary Kay. I'm also a single mom of 5 and a physical therapist, so I love Mary Kay because it fits so nicely into my lifestyle. New year, new you. I'm looking for 15 faces, and it's a free either facial or a glam look. You get free samples, and you get entered to win a $200 beautiful Kate Spade bag. So if anything about this commercial has interested you, like number 1, the opportunity, number 2, be a face. So call me, 908-546-0266. Try it, you're gonna love it.
Hi everyone, I'm Kitty Foss.
And I'm Amy J.
And we're Intuition of the Soul. We are a Facebook and YouTube group that has created a sacred spiritual place to look at your spiritual practices.
And there's too much to tell you about what we do, but let me tell you, we have weekly activities, we have monthly activities, and you are not going to want to miss our spiritual practitioner series. So join us on Intuition of the Soul.
Aloha.
Hi, my name is Diana Brandt. I'm a business consultant. If you always wanted to be an entrepreneur and you've got these dreams, you no longer have to have them in your head. I help you with the steps. I'm offering a 15-minute complimentary call, and you can reach me at diana.caremore@gmail.com. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, remember to share, like, and comment. And I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. My amazing guest here, Nick Rafter. He and I have been chatting about applying astrology and numerology when buying a home. And did you know that you can actually do that? And that actually, if you do, it probably will give you a much higher chance of buying the right home at the right time. So I was asking Nick if he would be kind enough to share some tips or share a tip regarding this particular topic. So Nick, do you have a tip to share with us?
I have 2, one for realtors themselves and one for people who are buying.
Awesome.
The tip for realtors that I got from a friend of mine that I think makes sense when you think about it is to never hold open houses during new moons or full moons.
Any reason why?
The energies just you will get sort of, she described it as during a new moon, you'll get a lot of negative energy, a lot of like resistant energy. So clients will find things wrong with the house that they wouldn't normally find wrong. You know, you just won't get the right energy for it. Full moon is the exact opposite. You'll get too much energy, which will sort of suck all of the worth out of the room. A lot of chaotic energy.
And before you go into that second tip, I want to just jump on that in regards to full moon and new moon. In theory, even like when we do rituals, one would say to not actually do the actual ritual on the actual day of the full or new moon, like the actual date itself, only because the energy itself is so strong that it's probably not the best time to. Either you could do it before or you could do it afterwards. And now, for our viewers who may not be aware of this, a new and full moon holds the energy 3 days before it's the fullest, if you're talking about a full moon, or 3 days before the actual new moon, and then 3 days afterwards. So there's a 7-day period before that actual date of the full or new moon in itself. So you can either do it before it or afterwards. So go ahead, Nick.
Okay. So The second tip is for people who are buying, or specifically people who are out looking for a house to buy. The tip is to find your personal energy year and then find a house where either the price of the house or the address of the house or both equal that year, and then see those houses first. And then the half part of this tip also as well is, if you don't find a house, if you had a house that has the zip code of, but that's good, your address, the address of your personal energy year, but the price doesn't work, offer a price where the numbers meet your personal energy year. You know, and so and work with like astrologer on that as well. But like, for example, your personal energy year is 7, you know, and you find a house and it's, you know, 675 or something, and it comes out to be whatever 675 is. 6 and 7 is 13, 5 is 18, that's 9. You know, offer 655 because that equals, I think, a 7, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or 665 is a 7.
Yeah.
Offer 665 because that's your 7. I've had somebody actually offer a very random number of 722 527 because that's the number that met whatever number they would. This wasn't my client, someone else's client, and they got the house for that. And the whole contract was hilarious because usually you don't have prices that are like that specific. Prices are usually in the zeros. So everybody asked why, and it was because that was what the numbers were telling us. That's what, you know.
Yes, exactly. And when you're working with your personal energy, your number, it's your personal energy year number. And if you're going along with what the collective energy year number is, which is the actual year in itself, and you're working with those two numbers, you really can't go wrong.
Yeah.
You know, you really can't. I mean, it's one of those things, and you know, it's like double magic when you work with your numerology and you work with astrology and you bring them together. It really is a magical process because it doesn't go wrong. So I'm loving that. So for those who are looking to buy a home or rent an apartment or whatever have you, it's really important for you to know your personal year energy number and also your astrology chart. So when you are working with Nick, now Nick may be kind enough to just ask you for your full name and time of birth, and then he looks that up for you, or he'll have you get that for him so he can then start doing what he needs to do on his end to make this magic happen for you if you find that house you really, really love or that apartment. So this can be a magical experience for you. So Nick, I want to thank you for sharing about applying astrology and numerology when buying a home, or even for that matter, even like a storefront. I don't think, Nick, you don't do commercial real estate.
I do.
Right?
I haven't done any commercial deals yet, but it's definitely something that I'm licensed to do and can do. And also, yes, commercial deals, because they're a little bit more difficult and intricate. I think these things are probably even more important.
Yes, like if I'm not mistaken, I'm just gonna add it up right now before I forget. Let me see something. 3. Wait, not 3 yet. 39. 3. So my address where I'm at in my studio, my business, adds up to the number 8, which is abundance. And also the year that I am born in, not my personal energy year, but the year that I'm born, 1970, is an 8. So, and of course, I took over the space 20 years ago. I had no idea about numerology and astrology back then. So intuitively, I knew something. Anyway, what I'd like to do now, Nick, if he's open to it, are you open to a reading, Nick?
Yes.
All right. Now, for those who are watching, whether you're watching live or on the replay, how readings go here is Nick will hold a question in his mind. He's not going to share it with me because I don't really want to know what it is. And all I'm going to do is ask Nick to say his full name that's on his birth certificate out loud 3 times, just so I can activate his energy.
Dominic Francis Rafter. Dominic Francis Rafter. Dominic Francis Rafter.
Excellent. And then just hold whatever that question is that you would like this card reading to offer you insight on. Hold that in your mind's eye. And if you want to call on or your loved ones and angels to support this. And then just wrap yourself up in a beautiful, beautiful white light of energy where we're both being supported and protected. And this is for your most highest consciousness purpose. So let's see what shows up. Okay, loving it. The affirmation is creativity. Creativity. So Nick using his creativity, applying his creativity to activate all the energies that are coming in for him going forward. So this is really about getting into your writing more, doing more journaling, doing more expressing, sharing, putting it out there, which is what he's doing today. The solar plex is all about trusting that he's exactly where he needs to be, feeling more secure with what he's doing, not second guessing his intuition, which he seems to be doing really good with, where he's really allowing himself to trust his intuition as opposed to guessing it. And knowing that he is starting to be more aligned to abundance. Number 66, which is a power number. Anytime a number repeats, it's the universe ways of reminding you to pay attention. The number 6 in numerology is about healing, nurturing, taking care of your home, shelter, and body, and scheduling time to do just that. And in astrology, it's the 6th house, which is about scheduling, organizing, health, and fitness as well. 6 and 6 is a 12, which is a 3. Now that 3 energy in numerology is about how you communicate, how you connect, how you brainstorm, how you network, and working, writing and journaling, which is what you do. The 3 in astrology is associated with Gemini energy, which interesting enough is what Nick's sun sign is, Gemini. Perfect. What's that?
The year that I was born adds up to a 3.
Oh, and look at that. So how interesting is this card for you, Nick? Does it resonate with you? Obviously.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So what this card is really pointing out for Nick is for him to work on his solar plex energy so he can really release whatever doubts or insecurities that he might be holding unconsciously, so he can become this powerhouse that he really is and becoming into. So I'm loving that. So Nick, thank you so much for being here today. Share one more time for our viewers and audience in regards to how they can reach you.
You can reach me at nickrafter@gmail.com, at my website, nickrafterwrites.com, or through my real estate page, corcoran.com/nickrafter.
Awesome. And Nick will be back with us again in March. We'll have him here again and again and again and again, because that's what Nick and I do. So with all that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. I'll be back with some promos and final words for you. So we'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Have you had COVID, the jab, booster, taking weekly tests, or been around anyone who has? Hello, I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, the owner of Holistic Fitness located in Queens, and the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast Stack. I would love to help you restore your immune system with Chakra Balance Reiki. I'm currently offering 3 and 6 month prescription plans. All sessions are available virtually and on site. To find out which plan best suits you, text 646-236-9155. I do look forward to helping you restore your immune system and getting onto the road of recovery.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For some of you who are just tuning in now, you missed a great show, but share, like, and comment, come back and watch. You can watch on any of the platforms where we're right here live. We'll replay on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and on demand on Roku as well. So with all that being said, Nick Rafter was our guest today. We spoke about applying astrology and numerology when buying a home. So if you are in that place right now where you're looking to buy a new home or rent an apartment, please connect with Nick Rafter, because he's going to help you, because he's going to apply astrology and numerology to make that magic happen for you. If you're wondering who's going to be here next week, well, next week's show, next week's guest, one of my other favorite guests in the whole wide world, Kendrick Greer, our astrologer. He and I are going to be talking about one of my favorite zodiac signs, Pisces. Yes, why is it my favorite? Because it's my birthday month in March. So please, please tune in next Sunday, same time, as Kendrick Greer will be here. And let's do a little promo announcements, because as usual, we have some amazing people out there doing some amazing things out there. We'll start off with Your Success Magazine. The publisher is Rich Pearson, and he just launched his most recent magazine. You'll definitely want to connect with that magazine, because I am one of the contributors to the magazine this month, so you do that. Then we also have Intuition of the Souls with Kitty and Amy. They have an amazing program. Every week they offer something amazing teachers, healers, etc. on their platform. And they have this amazing group that meets every Tuesday night that I do my best to participate in, which is their spirit communication group, where they bring many of us together, individual readings, and then we come together to do group readings as well. That takes place at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I just heard my mother say, slow it down. All right, next one, Author's Porch by CJ Ives Lopez. She is, again, the author, publisher of the Author's Porch magazine and the host of the Author's Porch podcast. And she does amazing things as well. And she's always looking for authors to feature. So please reach out to her. Joe Monkman. He has an amazing group, Spirit Messages and Energy Insight. It's sort of a little new than what he's been doing in the past. It now meets the first Tuesday every month at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So go ahead and reach out to him. It's a really amazing group, and you get a lot of insight from that hour. So please do just that. And last but not least, I don't know if I sent a flyer for this one, but I think I did. The Coach's Lounge with Barbara Brinkley. I was just on her show this Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. I've shared the link that you can go and watch. She holds that show every Friday, and I think she's doing something special this week where 5 days a week she's going to be doing something. So please go and reach out to her as well and see what she has to offer. She too is looking for interviewers to be on her show as well. I think I covered it all. I know I spoke about Kendrick for next week. And for those of you who might have missed last week's episode, remember, you can always watch that. Gabriella, our medical intuitive, also the founder of Alive Health Solutions. So much fun stuff that takes place on our show every week, week after week after week. Remember, put in the comments what you like about the show. Do you like the beginning? Do you like the healing portion? Do you like the guest? Put it all in there. And one last thing before I end the show for today, if you are interested in showcasing something that you do, your journey, your story, your healing demonstration, I would love to have you here on the show as well. All you need to do is email healingwithin76@gmail.com. And if you have a promo that's going on this week or next week, I would love to feature that as well. Let's chat. Email again, healingwithin76@gmail.com. With all that being said, enjoy the eve of Valentine's, the Super Bowl, and whatever else is going on in the world right now. And of course, all our planets and that full moon that's taking place this Wednesday, the 16th, in Leo energy. So much fun. Till then, next time, I'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye for now.